Hello and welcome to Game of Thrones Sword in the Darkness. Let's talk. Me and Logan have finished through the third episode of this series, and we're going to go through what choices we've made, and there's going to be spoilers ahead, so obviously get out of here if you don't want to be shocked by that. And I think what we're going to do this time, Logan, is separate each character's story arc separately and go through their sort of mini story within the episode and go through the choices that have been made. So let's kick off with our least favourite one for both of us, which is Mira's storyline in the King's Landing. So it basically, you start in there, it's obviously handmaiden for Marjorie, and you're having a discussion with Cersei and Marjorie, and Cersei stitches you up, doesn't she? She mentions that you've been talking to Tyrion about brokering perhaps a potential deal, and you can tell straight away that Marjorie's not happy with this, and she asks, make sure you don't be doing this behind my back, it makes me look bad. There's all sorts of backstabbing and politics obviously going on in the background, and why you can't be seen with Tyrion. But lo and behold, you're out on the day of the wedding between Marjorie and Joffrey. Tyrion bowls up and asks for a private word with Mira, and you've got the choice of either macking him off, leaving him, or defying Marjorie and going to see Tyrion. What did you go for this? Because obviously you don't. I didn't really want to burn the bridge between Marjorie, but I've gone the opposite way now. I thought, look, Marjorie's becoming a useless ally of mine. She's just getting in the way. So I actually defied Marjorie, went off and saw Tyrion. I thought he's the one who could potentially hold the key to helping the Forrester household. What did you do?
Yeah, well, I was sort of getting a bit sick of Marjorie and do what I say attitude. I was like, right, this ain't. I don't like these do as I'm told attitudes. So I was like, all right, I shouldn't have done that. Maybe for reasons I didn't really understand. I was like, I'm surely it's up to me whether I'll be doing stuff or not. But I said, nah, I'll stay here. I'll stay with Marjorie.
You stayed?
Yeah, I thought I thought I'll give it one last go, see if it will please her. And so I did that, and he basically said, oh, I've got the seal there ready for you the decree there ready for you to sign on my desk or whatever. So I was like, all right.
He said it anyway in front of her?
Yeah, he just went for it basically.
Hell.
Yeah, so I was just like, all right, cool. And then Marjorie had the arse out of me anyway, because she was like, you're still doing stuff. I was like, well.
Oh, right. So either way, Marjorie's going to get pissed off with you, it seems. I mean, I went off and spoke to him, and he pretty much just told me that. Just said, the decree's ready. I'm just waiting to get it signed off and sent. And I was like, right, can you speed it up? And he was like, it's all in good hands. It's not in good hands, though, is it, Mr. Logan? Because that's obviously the day of Joffrey's death. And if you watch the TV show, you'll know that Tyrion is arrested on suspicion of poisoning him. And this sort of puts you in a bit of a dilemma, doesn't it? You've got Lord Morgan who comes up to you to offer an alliance. And he was actually in, I believe, the first episode trying to sell the Whitehill Ironwood to Tyrion. You actually got in front of him. But he seems like he's an open-minded kind of guy, and he's quite happy to make an alliance with you. And what he explains to you now, though, that is if you've got an alliance with Tyrion in place to King's Landing, that looks bad because he's been arrested on suspicion of murdering Joffrey. So rather, this decree now has become somewhat of a black sheep, or an item that can cost you in the long run. And he basically says you need to secure that decree, otherwise we can't do business, and you're going to end up risking your life in King's Landing, having that sort of alliance there. You get hold of the decree eventually by hook or by crook with the help of that little coal boy called Tom, providing, I guess, as long as you saved him in the end of the second episode, which we both did. And then you've got a choice whether to burn the decree and obviously get rid of all the evidence that you've got any ties to Tyrion, which, at this time in the series looks like the best thing to do, or you can keep hold of the decree for yourself. What did you do in the end? Because I kept it because I don't trust this Lord Morgan guy. He was telling me things that made sense, but I was thinking he's got to have an ulterior motive here. I didn't trust, burning it and getting rid of what potentially could save me later on down the line.
Well, as we've done before with the dagger, I don't be doing evidence, so I fucking binned it.
You binned it, yeah. I was going to do it, but then at the very last second, I just thought, what's this guy? Why is he telling me what to do? And I just thought, I'll keep it, and if needs be, I can set fire to it later. No doubt the game won't let me do that later on down the line, or I could just get rid of it, but I just didn't trust what Lord Morgan was saying. I thought, you know what? If it comes down to it, I'm just going to tell him I've burnt it if I get the chance.
Well, I've wrote this part of the story off. It's driving me up the wall. So I just thought, right, well, I'm going to get an army somewhere else. So I was like, I don't really understand what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
I don't really want to be connected to Tyrion.
No,
and to be honest with you, I don't see what benefit it's going to do keeping it. I've gone to all that hassle to get it, to destroy it, to then keep it seems pointless. So yet again, I just went, right, get rid of it, be done with it, done.
I'm hoping it comes in use at some point down in the future, but it could be another mistake like the dagger. That could be another mistake.
They're literally going to go through your
they'll raid the room.
There's going to be all this evidence in there. There's going to be a fucking dagger. There's going to be all sorts of stuff. It's just it's going to all be there.
I'm not fond of Mira anyway, so if she gets her egg taken out, then I'm not going to be too upset about that. My grand plan now is just to cut all ties with Marjorie. Not cut all ties, but just do whatever selfish and whatever I can do to try and help the house as a whole. So if it means, like going back to the last episode, if I could have turned back the clock, I would have forged that letter to get the Glenmore's daughter to marry into the Foresters, like in a heartbeat now. But I've suddenly decided over this episode I've changed my mind, and throughout all of my choices I'm looking after just the Foresters and not really giving a damn about what's happening. That's pretty much where Mira's sort of story arc ends. You can either keep the Kree or bin it. I kept it. Logan's binned it. And let's move on to Asher. He didn't really have a lot to do in this one, did he? You still got the Lost Legion chasing you down. They end up chasing you down to this sort of cul-de-sac type area, and then to escape them you go into this cave. And upon entering the cave, you see one of these big fuck-off dragons, which is quite cool to see. Finally, we get to see, the dragons that we've seen in the TV show. You've got Malcolm and Beskha with you. Malcolm's fighting off the Lost Legion that followed you in there, and Beskha sort of looks like she's getting, cornered by the dragon. You've got a choice to go and save one or the other. What did you do with this one, Mr. Logan? Because it seems like it's quite an even split down the actual stats for the actual game itself.
Yeah, I saved Malcolm.
I went for Malcolm as well. I just thought he looked a bit more fragile. And to be honest, he's the one who's come to get me, and I thought, right, I need him to explain what's going on. I'm going to need him when I go back. If I turn up without Malcolm, I'm going to be in all sorts of trouble. So as much as I, thought I was being good friends with Beskha, it comes to the household of the Forest got to take precedent here. Malcolm seemed like a more integral part of that. And to be fair, Beskha doesn't die. She just gets burnt, which, who hasn't been burnt? I've spilled coffee over myself, so I don't know what her problem was. What's your sort of rationale behind that yourself?
Well, just quickly, just go back a sec. I just want to know, there was a little corpse on the floor just before you go into the cave. Did you take the gold off it?
Yes.
Yes,
right, okay. Took the gold.
Yeah. Right, same. I just curious to see if you found that as well. But
yeah. No, I took that.
My rationale was pretty much the same as yours. I thought Malcolm looks like he's struggling a bit there. I thought Beskha seems to always just take care of herself anyway.
Yeah,
and I think thinking more of the long-term story, I think I'm going to need Malcolm more than her, maybe, but I might be wrong in that.
Yeah, a similar sort of thinking for me. You end up meeting up with this chap named Croft, who has an army. There's a bit of history between him and Ash. They seem good mates in the end. I actually used the gold that I picked up to throw to him to try and convince him to come, back to the mainland and help the Forrester household. Because essentially what we're trying to get off him is him and his men to come back with us to help in this sort of impending war that looks like it's going to happen at some point between the White Hills and the Foresters. So the gold came in handy, chucked that to him, and he was happy to take that off my hands. But he is actually contracted to Daenerys, isn't he? So he can't leave without her say-so. Now, Ash has seen the dragon. It turns out Daenerys has lost her dragon. So the episode ends is us going to meet Daenerys and obviously going to broker a deal to hopefully go and find the dragon, and then she'll release Croft and his men and we can take them back to the Forrester house. Garrett. So Garrett's obviously in the Night's Watch. He gets initiated in this episode. He becomes friends with Finn. I don't think there's any other way to swing that. I ended up having a chat with Finn. It seemed like we're on the same sort of terms. Cotter is still nicking things. Your uncle comes to visit you and gives you a map and tells you you've got to go and disband the Night's Watch to help the Foresters, to go and see this North Grove that Lord Forrester mentioned in that very, very first episode. And Cotter steals this map off you. He's been a bit of a loose cannon all of a sudden, but he actually reveals to you that he's a wildling, which is a bit of a sickener, isn't it? And I think there's an opportunity for you to actually reveal that he is a wildling to Finn, but I chose not to. I don't know what you did with that. I thought, keep quiet. I don't want to stir up any more trouble as it is, and Cotter might come in useful, you know, if we do leave together.
Yeah, I think I've blown that.
What did you do?
Well, I thought, right, us three seem to be a 3 year.
Yeah.
I thought, it's got me in a little bit of a hot water line before. So I went, yeah, he's a wildling. Oh. He really didn't take too well to that.
What to Finn?
Yeah.
What did Finn do?
Well, he just sort of walked off. He just
Oh.
brushed it off and walked off. I think he got caught and he had to go and do something. But I was like, fucking hell, I really regret that. Yeah,
little grass.
Yeah, I thought he might. I thought we're good friends. I thought we've bonded. I thought he might listen to me. I thought I might be able to explain it, and I might be able to take him along. And I thought he might come in handy with that. But no, I've fucking blown it. I hope you don't go and kill him, because that'll be a real sickener.
That'll be right on your con. That'll be all on you as well. That'll
be
all
I know.
on you if he gets executed.
The thing is, I thought, we're good enough mates. I can be honest with him and say what's happened. But I don't think he's really on the same wavelength of leaving.
No,
I've blown it.
He's not. So at some point that might come into play. I'll be interested to see how that affects it. Britt, who from the first episode is the guy that murdered your family at the pig farm, didn't he? So he's actually been expelled to the Night's Watch as well for his hand in that slaughtering. And obviously there's a bit of animosity between the two of you. He's really trying to antagonise you, isn't he? There's a moment where you get up on the wall, you're up there lighting some of the torches up there, and Britt's there. He comes up and he confronts you. There's no other way to get round it. You have to fight the bastard, don't you?
Yeah.
You get the better of him, well, I got the better of him anyway, and he's in a bit of a torrid state. And you give him 3 options. You can either walk away and leave Britt. You can kick him off the edge and he'll die, fall down the wall, and that'll be the end of him. Or you can make him suffer. Mr. Logan, I'm really interested to know what you did with this particular one, because Britt, I didn't want to get in a conflict with him, but he forces it down your throat and you have to fight him. What did you do to him?
Well, the way I see it was, I was quite happy just to try and sort of leave it be. I thought, right, well, I'll be more mature about this. I'll walk away from it. Yeah. I'll ignore it. But if it chucks you down a route where you have to fight him, I thought, right, well, if I've got to fight him, then I'm going to be putting him down. There's no two ways about it. I'm not getting to a point where I let him get away with it and cause problems again. Yeah. I thought next time I get out the wall, I'll be getting out of here anyway. So it's not like I've got to worry about it long term.
No.
So anyway, we're there, and I thought, right, well, he made my family suffer, so I'll be making him suffer.
That's exactly what I did. We stuck the knife right into him very slowly, and he was absolutely squabbling.
There's no way I'm walking away from it at that point.
No, I mean, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I can get rid of the evidence here. I can just kick him off, and I thought, well, if I make him suffer, no one's going to care, because he's going to be, whatever happens, I'm killing him. He's going to end up in a load of shit down the bottom of the wall anyway. Yeah. I looked on the stats, and only 11.2% of people made Brit suffer. So we were in the massive minority there. But
it's not doing that.
No. I said he made our family suffer. He made Garrett's family suffer. I was like, you're getting a taste of your own medicine here, mate.
The way I saw it was that he started on me, so it's self-defense, isn't it?
Exactly. Well, the sickener is that Finn he sees it, doesn't he? Finn sees this unfold, and I think he only sees the end of it. So all he's seen is us sinking the knife into Brit, making him absolutely squeal like a pig, and then kicking him off the edge.
Looked shocked, didn't he?
Yeah, he was shocked and run off, and I was like, oh, Finn.
It's all going to pot.
He's all going to pot at the wall. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I mean,
to be fair, it's going to pot everywhere. There's nowhere that's going on the minute where I'm going, it's going exactly as I want it to.
No, yeah. I mean, looking forward to that particular story arc, you know, it looks like you're going to either get a choice to desert the Night's Watch, or maybe you can stay loyal to him. I don't know. This maybe happen in a future episode. Where are you swaying towards? Are you going to desert them and go to this North Grove and help the Foresters, or are you just going to go, right, keep my head down, I'm staying the Night's Watch if that decision comes up?
I'm going.
I'm going as well.
I am sick of it. I'm sick of being there. I'm sick of Jon Snow. So I'm just getting out of there and just going to find this North Grove.
Yeah, and see what it's all about. That's exactly what I'll be doing. Hopefully I'll have Cotter in tow of me, although I don't really trust him. He keeps nicking stuff, and I think it's going to come. I think it's going to come to a point, and he's going to end up causing me problems. He's going to have to get put down, but we'll see. Hopefully in episode 4 what happens with that. Final character, Roderick. You're still crippled. You're still a weak mess. Whitehills are causing issues with inside the Forrester house. You've got Griff acting like an absolute big dick, trying to take over. He's a nightmare, isn't he, Griff? He's just an absolute cock end. It doesn't matter. You confront him early doors and he's saying, look, I'm going to go into the main hall. We're going to go in there and take over. I said no. I did whatever I could to try and stop it. And no, you get ousted whatever happens. It doesn't matter. Griff ousts you. Whilst you're outside of the Great Hall, there's a choice to go and expel Griff or save Ryan, who's your younger brother and still with the Whitehalls. I thought Ryan's expendable at this stage. Griff's getting up my nose. I'm going to go and save expel Griff. Much to your mother's displeasure. I assume you did the same as well, because I don't think you're a fan of Ryan.
I don't see the point in it. If we're literally losing the whole thing, so you're losing that place. If you go and rescue him, what are you bringing him to?
Yeah,
nothing.
Exactly.
So you need to get that under control first.
You need to get your own house in order before you start getting back family members. Duncan tells you that Gwyn Whitehill wants to meet you, and she was the one that I imagine was banging Asher at some point many moons ago, which caused him to get expelled. You go and meet her. She urges you just to lay down for Griff, appease him, do whatever you can to make him happy. But in an interesting twist, she reveals there's a traitor within the Forrester household. She didn't say who it is, but it certainly sets off the alarm bells ringing, and all of a sudden you're sort of looking back at who you've got and you think, right, was Sir Roland the best choice? What's he getting out of this? And everyone's a suspect now.
I've got a theory about that.
Go on. So
I think it's his mum.
I think it's his mum as well.
I think she really cannot be trusted. I think she's trying to do anything she can to save Ryan.
Yeah,
at any expense.
I thought that as well. That's actually exactly what I was thinking. You get caught out by your mother when you come out from the meeting. You go in the main hall and she says, "Oh, where have you been?" And you get a chance where you can reveal there's a spy or a traitor within the ranks, or keep it to yourself. I kept it to myself in the same theory as what you used. I was thinking it could be you. I assume you done the same and kept that theory to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't tell your mum anything about that. She can be binned. Well, the Whitehill soldiers are in there. They've smashed the place up. They're taking the piss out of Ethan's death, acting it out, saying, "Oh, look, get my throat slit." Oh, really trying to antagonise Roderick. In the end, I lost my shit with one of them and thumped one of them around the end of a cup. Actually, slammed him one on the temple. Went, "You have that." Didn't really come to anything. They said, "Oh, Griff will deal with you." And I was like, "Well, he probably will now." Did you clump him, or did you just sort of let him have the cake and eat it?
I'm really wary of doing anything after Ethan got a fucking knife in the neck. I literally don't want to do anything because I was just thinking I can't afford to lose Roderick. Not necessarily that I think he's expendable, but I just think I need to be not antagonising anyone. I'm fucked enough as it is. The last thing I need is getting kicked in the head. So
no, you don't need that. I'm just glad I got at least a cheap shot in on one of them just to teach them a lesson.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it just at least made me feel better. I've clonked one of them on the head.
Yeah, that was the best thing I've done, I think, all series so far. I mean, he spills outside this particular sort of argument, and Griff's there, and essentially Griff lays down the terms and says, "Get on your knees, get on the dirt, and bow down to me." And I think we all crumbled, didn't we? Both crumbled to him. This is like the other choice, that you can either stand back up and defy Griff, who says, "Oh, your little sister's going to pay if you do that," or you can lay down in the dirt like a mongrel dog, get kicked in the stomach, and really just have to swallow your pride. We both did that, didn't we? We both just let Griff do what you wanted and laid down for him.
I just thought, right, well, Gwyn told me to. I thought that might be a chance to get a way out or something, but I thought there's no peace to be had here. No. I don't know what she's talking about. They're not just going to go, right, we'll leave them, because it's just not going to happen. So, but I thought it might buy me enough time to get some armies in or something. I don't know. I don't want to be lighting the blue touch paper here, because it's just it just seems too delicate.
I'm in no state here. It doesn't matter how much Sir Royland's kicking off behind me. He was going mental. I'm in no physical state to challenge this, and it looks like my little sister's going to get absolutely stunned if I get up here. So I just laid there, let Griff have his cake and eat it, and just puffed it. And I thought, I've got to fight for another day here, and this is not the time to be challenging him. Griff's time will eventually come, hopefully. And for now, I thought I wanted to, swallow my pride, lay down for him, let him kick us in the gut and walk away with it. That's it for now. Game of Thrones episode 3 is in the books. Mr. Logan, as always, thank you for joining me.
No problem.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back to look at episode 4 when that drops. But it's game over for now. Thanks very much for your time, and ta-da.